Hello everyone, I'm the EFC, this is Blue Lines TV. Welcome to the 5 talking points video after our 0-0 draw against West Ham. You guys, I'm going to be talking about Willian. I'm going to be talking about Kante, Pedro, SARRI's rotation, and I'm going to be talking about what Pellegrini said on how to combat against Chelsea. But you guys, before I get straight in the video, I do need to say that unfortunately there's not going to be any footage in this video. I was blocked for the last one. I can't afford to get any strikes on this channel. If I lost this channel, God knows what I'd do, but I just can't afford to do that. So I'm thinking of actually doing something interesting with the Patreon. I think after the Liverpool game, I'm going to test out and really experiment what I'm going to do with this. So you guys stay tuned. I'm going to get into detail with this in future videos. Moving straight on to the first point, that's in regards to N'Golo Kante. Is he good enough to play a more advanced role in midfield? Should it be dropped from the team? The answer is yeah. I couldn't even keep a straight face then. Of course, Kante should still be in the team. Again, you guys, I'm going to give my thoughts and opinions on the whole situation. It's been a pretty interesting debate reading both sides' opinions on Kante playing a new role. A lot of people don't understand why he's playing in a more advanced role in midfield. They think that he should be playing deeper in his more natural defensive midfield role, which doesn't really make too much sense in my opinion. And it's pretty simple, you know, Jorginho plays deeper in midfield, he plays the regista role. The guy averages about 115 passes a game. He starts attacks, he dictates our entire game. You can't afford to use this guy further up in the field. Other than Cesc Fabregas potentially replacing him, you're going to have Kante playing that role? Of course not. I mean, of course, I like to be objective. I can understand the other side's opinions on Kante. You know, if you look at Man City and Liverpool, you know, City have De Bruyne and Silva playing in those half spaces. Liverpool have Kante and Wijnaldum playing in the half spaces as well. And of course, naturally, you will get a bit more in an attacking sense from those players compared to Kante. Does that mean that Kante can't play this role? Is he not good enough? Of course not. And anytime I read his opinions, sometimes I think that people just aren't doing their due diligence. I mean, for example, with how SARRI uses his midfield three compared to Klopp and Pep, Kante plays that midfield ball winning role, which we do need in the team. And why do we need Kante there? Well, remember you guys, with how we defend off the ball now, we like to press high and win possession back in the opposition's half. It's not how it was under Mourinho or Conte, where we like to sit deep in our own half, play close to goal, and hopefully try and get something on the counter-attack. It's not like that. So Kante is key in helping us win possession back in the opposition half, and we can't afford to miss out on that. Does that mean that Kante is useless going forward? Of course, that's not the case at all. And when you actually compare Kovacic and Kante offensively in terms of what they've done, the stats are very similar with each player. And let's not forget the crucial detail as well, with how SARRI likes the team to play. Most of the attack does come down the left-hand side, and on the right-hand side, you know, guys like Aspi and Kante have to play a bit more of a supportive role. But at the same time, that doesn't mean that Kante shies away from his offensive responsibilities. Now, yesterday, Kante was criticised for playing very poorly. Of course, I've watched the game again, I always have to, and I definitely feel that that wasn't the case. Kante was good. I think the reason why people thought he was bad was because there were moments in the game where Kante was in the books. He had the chance to potentially do better with shots on goal, which he didn't take. And that's literally all people remembered of Kante's performance, which means that, of course, he was bad. Of course, it's never like that, and there's always one thing that people always forget. And the thing you have to realize is, if Kante was never ever in those positions in the first place, then I would understand people's critiques on his performance. But Kante was constantly in those areas, and what does that tell me? That tells me that this guy is feeling more confident in the role. Yes, he might not be confident in front of goal as often, but he's not shying away from his attacking responsibilities. He's still fulfilling what the manager expects from him. And it tells me that, yes, Kante can do this, and he's only going to get better the more he gets comfortable. Now, people keep talking about Alan from Napoli. Alan didn't become the midfield player he is right now overnight. It took him at least a season to really get used to this new role. Now, if you look at him now, you have to say he's one of the best midfield players in Serie A. And so far this season for Napoli, he has been their best midfield player. And what I find really exciting is the fact that this is Kante's future. We're going to witness a much more adventurous attacking Kante. I've always wondered, could Kante develop into more of a Michael Essien style midfield player? It's looking like under SARRI, that can be a possibility. And people need to stop being constantly reactionary to every single thing. listen, it's a process happening at this moment in time. As I was saying in my live stream, let's stop trying to always scapegoat players for bad performances. It's not the case, you know, we have to be patient, and Kante's showing that he can play this role and he's going to get better playing in this role. Now moving on to my second point, and that is we definitely did miss Pedro against West Ham, and the main reason as to why we missed Pedro is that we missed his ability to cut inside with his left foot and his movement off the ball as well. Now why is it so crucial that, you know, a player needs to have a left foot down that side? Well, it does speed up our possession play, and remember, each second you take on the ball gives more time for your opposition team to regain their formation and get back into their positions. And also, you know, if a player is playing on a stronger foot, it means that he's only going to play more confidently throughout the game. Still, Pedro's absence, it does bring up an interesting talking point in regards to the fact that, did Pedro have to play so long against PAOK? It seemed a bit unnecessary, and it looks like it slightly affected us in this game as well. And that moves on to my third talking point, and that's in regards to SARRI and squad rotation. Now when it comes to my opinions on this third talking point, I'm not here to say SARRI's wrong, etc, etc. See it more as me, you know, bringing up an interesting discussion and just giving some thoughts and opinions. It's nothing too deep. Of course, I understand and I know the bigger picture. My angle from this is the fact that, yeah, I understand what SARRI's saying. Of course, the more the first team play together, the quicker it's going to be in our development playing under SARRI. But I personally think it can be a bit overkill. I think we've definitely been affected in that sense with squad rotation. I think against POK, we definitely should have rotated the team way more, and that could have potentially stopped unnecessary small injuries to guys like Rudiger and Pedro. Of course, I'm talking in hindsight, but this is a reality. If you keep using the same players week in, week out, it's natural that these things will happen. Was the lack of rotation the major reason as to why we didn't beat West Ham? Of course it wasn't, but I feel that SARRI could be a bit more flexible. I think he is in a good position where he can be. There's a lot of fit players, there's a lot of talented players as well. For example, Hudson-Odoi could have been a great opportunity for him to get confidence from the manager and in the team, obviously with playing as well, and obviously it's been a great opportunity for guys like Ruben to show what he can do as well. And when you see guys like Kale and Victor Moses, you know, getting places on the bench, even though they haven't played at all throughout the season, or barely done anything throughout pre-season as well, it does really make you scratch your head at times as to why Hudson and someone like Ruben isn't in the team. But you guys, in the comment section below, give me your thoughts and opinions. I want to read what people have to say. Do you feel that SARRI can afford to rotate a bit more, or do you agree with him? Do you think that it's best he takes this extreme approach because we're only going to benefit from this in the long term? Now moving on to my fourth talking point, that's in regards to Willian, and I'm sorry you guys, I'm getting a bit sick and tired of how this guy becomes a scapegoat whenever we don't win a game. The Willian slander is way too extreme, it's way too reactionary, and whenever people that have these types of opinions on Willian have to give their thoughts and opinions, there's never enough insight or nuance, and they always forget context and the reason as to why some of his performances are like this. Now, Willian has been good this season, I'm not debating that with anyone. Did he have the best game yesterday? Well, what really frustrated me the most with Willian was his set piece delivery. I think if you want to criticise him on that, you're fair to do that, but I mean, criticising other aspects of his game just wasn't fair. Now, as I keep saying every single time, when Willian plays on the left, and essentially, that's when you can really see what he can do. And I think one of the mistakes that SARRI made yesterday was that he told guys like Hazard and Willian to interchange positions way too late in the game. I think that if they were constantly doing this throughout the game, it would have made a bigger difference and Willian could have had more of an impact. I mean, during the last 50 minutes when we saw this happening, how many times was Willian running at Zabaleta, getting down the byline and looking dangerous? And let's not forget too, Willian's strongest foot is his right foot. He loves to cut inside. Willian isn't a router like Pedro. His game's never been about what he does off the ball. It's always been about having the ball to his feet. So naturally, when he is being used out of position playing on the right hand side, especially when we're playing against very deep defensive park the bus teams, naturally it's going to affect what he can do, because when he's stationed out wide on the right hand side, he can't cut inside. No one's making space for him to operate in as well. This is why the play can be slowed down that right hand side. It's as simple as this. Imagine you've got Robin. If you play Robin down that left hand side, is he going to be as effective compared to cutting inside on his left foot? Of course he's not. Of course I know that Willian's not going to be able to play on the left or central. I'm just hoping that, you know, in the foreseeable future, SARRI is going to encourage the front three to interchange positions more, because I think that if we do that, we're only going to provide more threats to teams, and I think it's going to get the best out of the players. But you guys, in the comment section below, give me your thoughts and opinions. Do you feel that Willian Slander is justified? Let me know below. And moving on to the final point of this video, that's in regards to what Pellegrini said about Chelsea and the plan he came up with to combat us. That's the fact that he wanted us to play down the right hand side. The way West Ham was setting up off the ball was to try and force us to play down that right hand side. And yes, you guys, I'm seeing some of people's opinions, we don't have enough width, etc, etc, which really isn't the case. To be honest, Giroud said it himself. I was saying this during the match review and the live stream as well, and that's the fact that we weren't patient enough with our possession play. We kept forcing the play all the time. You guys, cast your minds back to the second part of the first half, but we kept losing the ball every single time because players kept trying to play impossible passes. It's not every time you can win 3 or 4-0. When you play against teams that do park the bus like this is where you need to be patient with your use of the ball, because as the game goes on, teams like this get more nervous, they get more tired, and that's when you can start to operate in those spaces. When you watch Man City play, it's not every single game they're winning 3 or 4-0, it's not like that at all, but it's how they manipulate the ball and keep their patience that makes a massive difference. And why do I keep stressing the lack of patience in our possession play? Well, that's because we weren't really switching the play from left to right quickly enough. A lot of times throughout numerous games we played already, we constantly do this all the time. It was rarely happening against West Ham. Yes, I do understand that they kept their positions very central and very deep, so it did make it difficult. But at the same time, whenever players were on the ball, too often they were looking for that forward pass when they didn't have to play it, and instead they should have just switched the play to the opposite flank. But still, you guys, with the points I'm making about yesterday's game, I'm not saying there's one massive reason as to why we didn't win the game. With how I see things, there's always numerous reasons that all add up together to play a part. And let's be serious, if Pedro was playing, and let's say if Willian was on the bench as an option, if our wide players interchange positions more, if we were more patient with our possession play, and if we weren't affected after that game against PAOK, it could have been a completely different outcome against West Ham. But you guys, this is why I do these 5 talking points videos, because there's always a lot of interesting discussion after our games. But anyway, you guys, that's going to be the end of today's video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. As I said, help me get more than 500 likes for today's video. But anyway, you guys, I'm going to go now. I'm the EFC. This is Blue Lines TV. Signing out.